I think this is really important because of all of those things happening at a macro level. Again, it's important to pause and just recognize all of these big pieces happening behind the scenes so that we can better understand the micro or the individual kind of support that we can provide our staff and our students. But all of those macro level issues are really showing up for folks in stress, right? So it's the most significant stressor for most Americans. Nearly 8 in 10 or 78% say the pandemic is a significant source of stress in their life. And nearly 7 in 10 they've experienced stress over the course of the pandemic. So essentially, we are in a stress response, kind of stuck in a stress response, right? We are in that fight or flight state. We're in a trauma state. People are stuck in that survival mode, right? A very reactive mode. So we're not in a cool, calm, collected place. We're in a survival place, just trying to get through everything that's happening. And that can greatly impact not only our personal health and how we show up in our world, but also how we show up at the workplace. And so I think that's another piece to really keep in mind, like the stress state, right? The fight or flight response. We're going to go through this, what that typically looks like, how that shows up, but recognizing that we are in that space right now. And if we want to take a more Jungian, Carl Jung, like depth psychology perspective to this and zoom out, we're looking at both the individual as well as the collective, right? The collective being the community or the kind of society at large. And right now, the collective is experiencing a lot of trauma, right? And individuals are also experiencing trauma. So there's just a lot happening at an energetic level. We're seeing a lot of shadow. So in Carl Jung's work, he talks about the light and the dark, right? And the shadow pieces of ourselves, the shame, the guilt, the pieces of ourselves that we hide that are unhealthy, right? And all of that is coming up right now. We're seeing that both, again, at the collective level as a community, and individually. And we're all being confronted with that. And it's very jarring and it's very stressful. And so, again, just kind of keeping that in mind, that this is all happening at a grand scale, right? And we're all trying to manage just the micro within that. So what does this mean? People are experiencing significantly more stress as a result of the pandemic, right? The ability to manage stress that we've traditionally used is not working, right? So things that we normally do, we may not have access to. And so our stress response is struggling, right? It's hard to manage when we don't have all the tools, or we're in that constant state of stress and can't get out of it. And so that really kind of wears us down over time, and it can become more and more noticeable. And that's why we're seeing a rise in mental health concerns nationally, right? Particularly with anxiety and depression, the isolation, as well as being stuck in that stress state for a long time, leads to anxiety disorders, panic disorders, depressive disorders, right? So it's hard because, again, a lot of the things that we've used before don't really apply now to the situation we're in. So when you're in survival mode, the kind of day-to-day stress management stuff doesn't always work. And that's when we have to really think about, what do I need to shift for myself? And then how can I also help my staff do that as well?